It's been 15 years for you, Raj, in the industry. Everyone knows that if it's a Rajkummar Rao movie, the story is there, the performances are bang on. But tell me, what is it that you want to leave behind in terms of the impact that you want to create through your work on the audiences for the longer run?
What I want to leave behind is that when people think of me after, I don't know how many ever years, they think of me with a lot of respect.
Okay.
Somebody who took his work very, very seriously and who was here for the right reasons, for the right intentions, and not for fame, to really contribute to my art form, contribute to our cinema.
In such a scenario, how can you measure success in sense, because today everything is so diluted, everything is, I mean, we don't know whether a movie is actually successful or not at the box office. That's a mystery.
You know your own truth.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. So you know exactly which film has worked, and I don't really go out and make an extra effort to know about what's happening to the other film. Okay. But when a film works, you can see that a film has actually genuinely worked. Of course, there's this thing started now that people think every figure that is coming out is a bogus figure.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's like saying every actor calls the media on their own. No, it's not true. I haven't called media ever in my life. It's just like that only. People just want to put that thing in everybody's mind. Oh, they're all bogus figures. They're not. Like I talk to my producers, my distributors to know, and they won't lie to me, right? They would tell me exactly what happened to a film. That way, like, you know your own truth. You know when a film has worked and film hasn't worked. Yeah, and you can see that in theaters. When you go to theaters, if you see there's an audience there which is almost full or whatever, 70-80% full, people are actually coming and watching the film. That's the only way to judge whether it's actually working or not. Go out and watch it.
No, Raj, no one expected probably, to see you in this action avatar. Tell me, is this the space that you always wanted to try? Because, when we speak of action, you of course have a notion that, this is the action star and this is how he would look or this is how he would be presented.
I always wanted to do something different, something in this space, but was not exactly sure what. But when I read, and not like it was the first time somebody offered me an action film, to be honest. I was offered this genre before, but I couldn't connect with those stories, with those makers maybe. But this one, when I read, I thought it's such a powerful story about this guy's rise. The arc was just beautiful. The journey was very much there. And I've known Pulkit for a long time, and I know he's a very passionate guy. He wanted to make this film in a certain way, and we had this talk. So I thought this is the right one for me to begin this genre with, and that's the reason I decided to do this. And I love the title, Maalik.
Maalik. Guns and gangsters, I believe, is a world that you have been part of in the past somewhere. Be it in Guns and Gulab, Gangs of Wasipur somewhere, and Omarta, if I can put that in that bracket. But tell me, how different would you define these spaces were for you from Maalik? Each of them, if
Maalik
you could
is
describe.
very, very different.
Yeah.
I think Guns and Gulabs, it was also partially a comedy.
Right.
Especially my character in that, Tipu Tiger. Omerta was a biopic, so and it didn't have too many action sequences, per se. But this one is a full blown out action film. It's one of those massy, big commercial action film with the heart at its right place. There's a great story attached to it. There are great characters in that story. So that way, it's very, very different from whatever I've done till date.
What's interesting is in Maalik, we see you as this ruthless guy. I mean, one of the standout moments for me from the trailer was where you're picking up the gun and that massive action sequence that we see, and the end portion of the trailer. Earlier we used to not see men, the leading men playing these kind of ruthless guys. Like what you've seen of late is Ranveer doing that in Animal, or maybe Allu Arjun doing that in Pushpa. Firstly, what do you think led to this change? Of course, you've been trying, but how do you look at this whole thing of actors having this thing of going all out and playing whatever is the requirement of the character? And B, do you feel somewhere that it was Gangs of Wasipur somewhere that was the fountainhead of this kind of genre, this kind of space?
I think for Gangs of Wasipur, I'm not sure, but if you were to ask Anurag sir, he would say that Diwar maybe was the fountainhead, and maybe before that it was something else. Shiva
Yeah.
was a big fountainhead for all these gangster dramas. But I think cinema is always evolving. You know, it
Yeah,
started
of
with
course.
when men were all only playing women's part, female part. Initially, when we started making films in our country, so it's always evolving. There were things that actors won't do in 70s, 80s, but now it seems very normal for actors to do that. Same like with action, with the more violence in the film. It was not okay doing that maybe in 80s, 90s, 2000, but now it's fine. So I think it's always evolving. Sometimes you go back to basics, sometimes you
Right.
want to push it forward. So yeah, it's a part and parcel of the process.
Raj, do you think also that it's the right time for you to get into the space of action, because that was maybe or till now the flavor of the season, or maybe something that
Yeah.
people were really warming up to a lot on the big screen?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was also missing seeing myself doing something very different. Like last year, I'm glad Shrikant happened, so which was pretty different, and Mahi was different. But I want to do something every year, at least 1 or 2 films where, I also push myself and then do something that maybe I don't expect out of myself. So I love doing those things. So yeah, this is the right time, I believe. Yeah,
To do action.
yeah.